And welcome everybody to Atlanta, Georgia, home of the Teavangelical Nerve Center. What are we talking about when we say Teavangelical? We are going to explain all of that, and especially why we came here to Atlanta. We did not shop for peaches, though we understand Georgia is the peach state. Instead, we came searching and we found the Teavangelicals. All right, so what exactly is a Teavangelical? Well, let us here at the Brody file put it to the Webster's Dictionary. It's not Webster's, but we made it up. Basically, a Teavangelical is a conservative Christian, typically evangelical, who supports the Tea Party agenda. It's really that simple. And so here we are in Atlanta because we, as we said, come to the Nerve Center. And why is Atlanta the Nerve Center? Take a look at this map we have for you. Indeed, we have the Tea Party Patriots chairman, Jenny Beth Martin. We have Tea Party Express chairwoman, Amy Kramer. And we have Ralph Reid, the CEO and president of the Faith and Freedom Coalition. All three of them here in the Atlanta area. It really is an intersection of the evangelical movement and the Tea Party movement, all happening, if you will, from Atlanta, Georgia. Now, we had a chance to visit the Faith and Freedom Coalition headquarters in Duluth, Georgia. This is Ralph Reid's organization. Yeah. And look, they are at the intersection of all of this. They have a staff, really just about 10 folks full-time in this office, but you know what? They've got state volunteers all over the place. Already in half of the states in the country, they are going to reach tens of millions of people in 2012. It's not necessarily the Christian Coalition as you knew it back in the 80s, but in essence what this is a new version of the Christian Coalition, combining evangelicals with a Tea Party agenda as well. You combine it all together, and you have the potential for major success. We talked to Gary Marx, who is a conservative organizer, a grassroots organizer, who is heavily involved in helping the Faith and Freedom Coalition come together.
We've been powered by the strong message of the Tea Party and their concerns about fiscal concerns and activists at that level, and then people of faith who are concerned about the same things. We know that more than 50% of Tea Party members themselves would say that they are social conservatives, and they care deeply about being pro-life, pro-family, and those are core parts of who they are. But at different times, they're going to express that based on what are the issues of the day. They're concerned about their pocketbook as well, creating jobs, lower taxes on their family. And that's where Faith and Freedom has really been able to fill a vacuum in terms of an organization dedicated to grassroots political organizing, make sure that there can be an active voice that's heard in every state, at every level of government, not just in Washington. This message needs to carry out and ring true across the land at every level.
Now, to prove our point about Teavangelicals in terms of this crossover between both groups, take a look at this. This was the Pew Research Center study, and it showed that 69% of registered voters who agreed with the so-called religious right also said they agreed with the Tea Party. It's pretty astounding. Now, you have white evangelical Protestants in this survey that are roughly 5 times as likely to agree with the Tea Party movement as it is to disagree with it, 44% to 8%. Now, there was also an American Values survey. This is very interesting. It's got a lot of traction in the media. It shows that Tea Party members are also mostly social conservatives. For example, 63% of Tea Party members we're talking about say abortion should be illegal in all or most cases, and only 18% of Tea Party members support same-sex marriage. Ralph Reid is really at the head of all of this, especially with the Faith and Freedom Coalition, and he speaks to a lot of Tea Party rallies across the country. He was just in a few over the last few weeks down in Tampa, Florida, and it's interesting because he not only talks to Tea Party groups and speaks at Tea Party rallies, but he also talks to churches around the country, talking about our Judeo-Christian history and why fiscal policy matters in the pro-family movement. Here's a little bit of our interview.
There aren't very many social conservative voters who are economic liberals. There may be a small group, but there aren't a lot of people who are pro-life, pro-family, and pro-marriage, but they're for higher taxes and more spending. Usually, if you're conservative on social issues, you're also going to be conservative on economic issues, and you see that in the Tea Party movement. I think a society that honors God and honors marriage and family is also unlikely to run up $10 trillion in bills on a credit card and hand it to their children and grandchildren. So I think if you want a government that is not running roughshod over churches and families and local communities, by definition, I think you want that government to be smaller, confined to specifically enumerated purposes, returning to the constitutional roots of our founders. And that's why I've been very much an ally and involved in the Tea Party movement from the very beginning.